Hello everyone, my name is Kishan Agarwal and I am from CSC B section. Today I am going to present my Tech Talk video of programming for problem solving using C, and my problem statement states that there are k problems in a contest with n participants. All the problems don't necessarily have the same points assigned to them. You are given an array A of integers where AI denotes the points assigned to the ith problem. If a participant solves the ith problem, they will get AI points added to their total score. Note that there are no partial points, they can only get 0 or AI points on the ith problem. For each participant, you are also given their final verdict in each problem in the form of a binary string SI. A 1 denotes that they solved that problem and a 0 denotes that they did not solve that problem. So my job is to find the total score for each participant. So we are going to discuss a source code I am going to write to solve this problem. So this problem statement basically consists or says that there are k problems in a contest and there are n participants participating in this problem, and there is an array given, array of integers. In that array there are points for each question. If there are suppose k questions, so there are k elements in that array that denotes each point for each problem. So we have to find whether how much is the total score or total points scored by that participant, and that participant is given as a string, binary string, and in that string 1 denotes that the problem is solved by the participant and 0 denotes that the problem is does not solved by the participant. So before solving this problem, let us discuss some of the basic concepts of C. So first of all, what is C? C is a general purpose programming language created by Dennis Ritchie at the Bell Laboratories in 1972. It is very popular language despite being old. C is strongly associated with Unix as it was developed to write the Unix operating system. So initially C programming was limited to the Unix operating system only, but as it started spreading around the world, it became commercial and many compilers were released for cross-platform systems. So today C runs under a variety of operating systems and hardware platforms as it is shared, evolving. Many different versions of the language were released. At the time, it becomes difficult for the developers to keep up with the latest version as the systems were running under the older versions. To assure that C language will remain standard, American National Standard Institute ANSI defined a commercial standard for C language in 1989. Later, it was approved by the International Standards Organization in 1990. C programming language is also called as ANSI and CC. So languages such as C++, Java are developed from C. These languages are widely used in various technologies. Thus, C form a base for many other languages that are currently in use. So why should we learn C? It is one of the most popular programming language in the world. If you know C, you will have no problem learning other languages, other popular programming languages such as Java, Python, C++, etc. As the syntax is similar to the C, very fast, and C is very fast compared to the other programming languages just like Java, Python. C is very versatile. It can be used in both applications and technologies. So let us discuss some of the applications of C. Key applications. C language is widely used in embedded systems. It is used for developing system applications. It is widely used for developing desktop applications. Most of the applications by Adobe are developed using C programming language, and it is used for developing browsers and their extensions. Google Chromium is built using C programming language, and it is used to develop databases. MySQL is the most popular database software which is which is built using C. It is used in developing an operating system. Operating systems such as Apple's operating system, Microsoft's Windows, and Symbian are developed using C language. It is used for developing desktop as well as mobile phones operating systems, and it is also used for compiler production. It is widely used in IoT applications. One more thing, even though C is a high level language, it is sometimes used as a middle level language, like in compilers and in assemblers it is also used. So we can say that C is a base language for many programming languages. So C as the main language will play an important role while studying other programming languages. It shares that some concepts such as data types, operators, control statements, and many more. C can be used widely in various applications. It is a simple language and provides faster execution. There are mainly jobs available for a C developer in the current market. C is a structured programming language in which programs is divided into various modules. Each module can be written separately and together. It forms a single C program. This structure makes it easy for testing, maintaining, and debugging process. And some of the key features, like C contains 32 keywords, various data types, and a set of powerful built-in functions that makes programming very efficient. One more feature of C programming is that it can extend itself. That means a C program contains various functions which are part of a library. We can add our features and functions to a library. We can access and use them functions anytime we want in our program. This feature makes it simple while working with complex programming programs. Various compilers are available in the market that can be used for executing programs written in the C, and it is a highly portable language, which means programs written in C language can run on other machines. This feature is essential if we wish to use or execute the code on another computer. So before going to the structure of C program, I want to say how C programming language works. So as we know that C is a compiled language, a compiler is a special tool that compiles the program and converts it into the object file, which is machine readable. After compilation process, the linker will combine different object files and creates a single exhaustible file to run the program. The following diagram shows, I have not pasted here the diagram. So as we are writing a source code with the extension .c, it will be compiled and it is converted into object file, and then the linkers which are connected to the file are compiled and a machine level file is generated. Nowadays various compilers are available online and you can use them, any of those compilers. The functionality will never differ and most of the compilers will provide the features required to execute both C and C++ programs. So some of the key features of the compilers which are available online are, it can be Clang compiler and portable C compiler, turbo C, etc. So let's begin with the structure of C program. So it is very interesting to learn about structure of C program. So the structure of a C program can be divided into 6 sections, namely documentation, link, definition, global declaration, main function, and subprogram. So the main function is compulsory to include in every C program, whereas the rest are optional. A well-structured C program makes debugging easier and increase the readability and modularity of the code. So let us discuss all the 6 key features, or we can say structure of C program, one by one. So first of all, documentation. In a C program, single line comments can be written using 2 forward slashes, that is two forward slashes shown here, and we can create multi-line comments using single slash, then asterisk at the end, and single slash. So this is how we can write comments in multi-line comments and single line comments. So documentation gives why and for what purpose the program is written. So at the beginning of the program we have a documentation section. In that we can write using this multi-line comment or single line comment according to the name or file name which we are going to give. So it will tell you why we are writing the file or what the file contains. Next is the link section. All the header files are included in the section. A header file is a file that consists of a C declaration that can be used between different files. It helps us in using others' code in our files. A copy of these header file is inserted into our code before compilation. So all the preprocessor commands comes at the link section, and all the preprocessors are started with the hash symbol. It is a syntax of C language. The preprocessor commands or tells the compiler to include the input-output library into the C program. So definition: a preprocessor directive in C in any statement that begins with the hash symbol. The hash defines a preprocessor compiler directive used to create constants. In simple terms, hash define basically allows the macro definition which allows the use of constants in our code. And hash define is typically used to make a source program easy to modify and compile in different execution environments. Define statement does not end with a semicolon. See, every line should be terminated with semicolon in C program, but the define statements which we are giving before the main function should not be executed with a semicolon. Next is the global declaration. This section includes all global variables, function declarations, and static variables. The variables declared in this section can be used anywhere in the program and any function in the program. They are accessible to all functions of the program, hence they are called global variables. Next is the main function, which is compulsory to write in every C program. In the structure of a C program, this section contains the main function of the code. The compiler starts execution from the main function. It can use global variables, static variables, inbuilt functions, and user-defined functions. The return type of the main function can be void also, not necessarily int. Next and the last section of our program is subprogram. This includes the user-defined functions called the main function. User-defined functions are generally written after the main function irrespective of their order. When the user-defined function is called from the main function, the control of the program shifts to the called function, and when it encounters a return statement, it returns to the main function. So this is showing how the sections are used. First of all, documentation section, link section, definition section, global declaration section or function declaration section, main function section, and subprogram section in which we can have different functions. So in this, documentation section is suggested. That means if we write documentation section in our program, it will be useful to understand by the other programmers even when they are checking, or if other person or people want to see your program, they can understand it what the program is written. So documentation section is suggested to be written in the program, and link section is essential part because it links the library to the code, and definition section is optional. You can define your global variables and functional variables. It is optional, it is up to you. And main function is essential part. It is the main part of the function. and subprograms are also optional. You can include all the programs in the main function even itself, or you can divide it in the subprogram section. So next, begin to our problem statement, which we have discussed here, as there are. This is a flow chart showing our program or problem statement. So first of all, we are going to read the three variables k and a. So here we can discuss the data types which are used in a C program. So there are basically three types of data types used in the C programming, that is integer type, float type and character type. In this we can have short int, long int, double and long float, short float. So there are the secondary type of data types, and secondary data types are also known as derived data types such as arrays, strings, pointers, structures. These are all our secondary data types. So here we are going to read k for the number of problems or number of problems in the contest, and n is used to the number of participants participating in the contest, and a is the array which stores the points given to each question. So I equal to 0, that means we are initiating for using for loop, and condition is given, and in that we are reading a string and points. That means we are initializing points equal to 0 scored by the student, and then we are giving a nested for loop, that is j equals to 0, and then we are checking the condition, then we are incrementing the points as per the given string, and then we are printing the points for the each student, and then we are finishing our program. So let us see the code, source code for that problem statement. So in this I have written first of all the documentation section, that is finding the total score of each participant in the contest. This is a task given, so I have written in the documentation section using multi-line comment section, and after that link section is written, that is hash include stdio.h, that is standard input output header file I have included in my program. This is basically required. All the printf, scanf, building functions are stored in this library, so it is necessary to be included. Next, I have not declared any global variables or functions, global functions and all. I have directly started with the main function. So in main function, first of all, declaration section, I have declared k variable, n variable and a variable. So k is a variable. Here k gives number of problems. So for example, I am taking k equal to 5 problems, and n is the number of participants. We are going to take input, it has a input, and a, so as there are 5 problems, I am storing a and giving the size of the array as 5, and I am storing the marks or points for the ith problem. So I have given 5, 10, 5, 10, 20 marks or points for the respective problems, and then I have used a printf statement to print enter the number of participants, to display the enter the number of participants on the screen, and then scanf is written to take the input, that is the number of participants. Then for each participant we have to calculate the points scored by him or her. So we are using a for loop, and in that for loop I am giving a character type string to get the binary. See the marks, or have they written out the problem, or they attempted the problem or not, it is given or stored in a binary type string. So we are taking it as an input. For that I have taken a print statement, and it displays enter the binary string, and scanf will take it. And I have also declared int equal to points, integer type points, and then we are calculating the marks using a for loop, nested for loop. So here I have declared a variable j, which will calculate the marks up to 5 problems. That is, if it is attempted, it is denoted by 1. So I have given string if the jth, if the index j has 1, that means he or she has attempted the problem, so we are adding that mark. So a of j is added to the point and it will iterate up to the 5 iterations, and then it will come out of the loop and it will print the total points scored by the participant. So we'll see one input output case. So here I have taken 2 participants. Enter the number of participants 2, then enter the binary string. That means it contains 1 and 0, which I have already told. 1 denotes that the problem is attempted and 0 denotes the problem is not attempted. So 10101 is given. So the marks are calculated. Total points scored by are 30. Next, enter the binary string. Since we are having 2 participants, so we are entering the second string, that is 11011, and the point scored by the second participant is 45. So this is how we can find the total score of the participant. So this is what the question was. Yes. Yeah. So our question was, our job was to find the total score of the each participant. So we have successfully calculated the total score using nested for loop and arrays.